a smile on your face. Ooh, this is the one. Yeah, this is the place. In and out. In and out. That's what a hamburger's all about.
Hello, everybody. I'm Huell Heads. Hi, I'm Huell Heads. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Huell Heads. Hi, I'm Huell Heads. Wait a minute. There's a helicopter coming here. Wait a minute. Oh, get out of here. Wow. Look. What is that? Let's get it out of here. Look at this. I thought what was my feet. Look at this. Oh, my God. And there they are, Louie, up there. That is an amazing sight to see as we continue our search for California's gold.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Huell's Gold. I'm Chris.
I'm Allan.
And I'm Kathleen.
Uh-oh. Yep, got a special guest this week. If you don't know by now who Kathleen is, you probably haven't listened to many episodes.
That's true.
So it's also a pretty special intro I slammed together this week. I can't tell you how much I love that jingle, which honestly I forgot existed because I'd only ever heard it on this episode before. Did you guys ever hear it before?
I don't know where I've heard it, but yeah.
I feel like I've heard it on the radio and on commercials, actually.
Yeah, I would say commercials, but I haven't heard the full version.
Yeah.
It's always just the catchy part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, after I watched the episode for the research last night, I went on a search for it, and there's little clips. There's also like 5 different recordings of it, like throughout the ages of the commercials of the company. They had like different recording sessions. So if you're like me and love that weird song, yeah, there's versions out there just on YouTube and stuff.
Well, you said there were like 80s versions?
That's the ones I was seeing. I mean, most of the like more recent commercials, at least on YouTube, didn't really have that so much. If you haven't, go look at the old 80s In-N-Out commercials. They're as you can imagine an 80s In-N-Out local TV commercial would be.
They're similar to is it like Burger TV come to life?
Dude, don't jump ahead.
I won't.
So, yeah, this episode is very special. We've been wanting to do this one forever, but we were holding to our chronological order for so long, we never thought we'd get to it. But now that we're just shooting skeet out of the air, we're just doing it. And Allan, I guess you can explain why this has been such a big deal for so long for us to finally get to it.
Well, because In-N-Out is the episode. This is what are you getting at? It's just the best.
Well, I guess you could also explain why your wife's on the show.
As I give him these eyes. You know.
I thought you were saying that it was some sort of,
quintessential California.
I know.
Yeah, I thought it was like some sort of high upper echelon of California's gold.
Also true.
Well, no, like in the grand scheme of the world, yes, because like I was going to get to this later. It seems like this was one of the first times that a lot of the kind of In-N-Out, not secrets, well, sorta, were kind of widely televised. At least that's what they keep telling everyone in the show.
Yeah, would you say that?
I 100% would agree.
Okay, so I will. Chris set me up perfectly. It just took a minute and a half. But so Kathleen, you are a In-N-Out veteran.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you work there?
7 whole years.
7 years.
Wow.
I know. Albeit a lot of that was very part-time.
Hey. But people, you know what? They date and they break up for 6 months and they still count that. So
there you go.
So tell us about In-N-Out. What is your, after 7 years, does the smell of In-N-Out gross you out?
I loved everything about my experience, and I crave it till this day. It's great. Yeah, it's great.
Which Kathleen waited in line. Wait, so okay, we can talk about this too because I'm sure there are multiple people going through this. Getting food from In-N-Out is hard.
I wonder if it's like that in every city. I mean, we have how many locations? 2 in Bakersfield?
We have 2, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a lot. A lot of towns only have 1. So
that's where I grew up. My In-N-Out was just the one.
And what In-N-Out?
It was store number 54 in Lake Elsinore, where I'm from.
Okay.
Yep.
So because you worked the one in town off Panama?
I did. So that was one of the caveats for me to move here was if I could transfer to that store.
I kind of forgot that was a thing.
Know.
I forgot that when you moved here, you also moved In-N-Outs for a while.
Yeah.
Was it busier?
It was so much busier because it's right on the 5. Or mine was on the 15, and that's going like down to San Diego. So I don't think it was as...
Yeah, because there is one at the 5 right there, and it's Fort Tejon, and the 99 is
Yes,
Panama.
so I was on Panama. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was before Fort Tejon opened.
Yeah.
So it kind of looked like...
does that count as Bakersfield, do you think?
It's Kern County.
I mean, yeah, it's not L.A., and there's no other city near there. I guess
it's true, but...
That's kind of like our Bakersfield sort of third location.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the worst In-N-Out I've been to in terms of busyness is Kettleman City.
My gasp.
You did? You got scared for a second.
I'm still like oddly protective.
It beat me up. Actually, I can tell you a story. So, I like In-N-Out.
Oh,
I had a horribly traumatic experience with In-N-Out, though. So
we're jumping right into this. Huh?
I'm just going to go into it because I'm sure we're going to talk about our experiences with In-N-Out. So, I like In-N-Out. So, we were going to after Mother died, we went to go get a comforting meal from In-N-Out because we love In-N-Out. I got my double single, no onions or tomato. That's just how I order it. Kathleen you got a grilled cheese?
Double meat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mustard fried.
Totally opposite.
Total opposite. And then I had lettuce. Kathleen didn't have lettuce. It's the closest thing to an experiment, scientific experiment we can conduct. I got snarly food poisoning.
Poor guy.
It was such a rough time. To put this in perspective, too, we were doing this show at the time. It wasn't that long ago.
Uh-huh.
And we were like contemplating about whether to do the show, and you wanted to still do it to kind of like keep your mind on something else. And then that happens too, and it's just like, dude, maybe we could take a week off.
There's like 7 hours of gnarly food poisoning. Yeah. But here's the thing. Oh, well, before we get that, I still like In-N-Out. That's where this is going.
you still do it.
But people are so defensive of In-N-Out that I would tell them I got food poisoning from In-N-Out, exactly what I told you, what everyone just heard, and they would say, "Yeah, but you must have eaten somewhere else."
I feel like I might have actually fallen in that camp. I'm like, no.
Blame the victim here. I was like, no, I hadn't eaten for about 7 hours before that, or maybe 8 hours before that. And I slammed a burger. And that was when the whole lettuce thing was going around. E. coli, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, still, we just slammed it In-Out tonight. The same thing. Double single, no onions or tomatoes.
Quarantine style, though.
Yep, quarantine
Which
style.
is very unique experience, waiting in that line and having In-N-Out employees with masks.
Well, guys, I gotta come clean.
You didn't do it.
I didn't.
Why were you late getting on? You didn't even get In-N-Out.
So, like I said before we went on mic, I've been hanging wallpaper for most of the day. Didn't get finished with that, and then our new TV stand came in the mail, and I thought, I'll just slap that together real quick. Dude, okay, I started at like 6:30 though.
Jeez,
and I thought like an hour and a half, that because we were going to start at 8 o'clock. I'm like, an hour and a half, that's plenty of time. And at 7:50, I'm like out of breath, ready to slam the thing through the sliding glass door, and I'm like, I need some more time.
No, I was saying, come on, because why would you know that never goes to plan?
I know.
Every time. Using just a tiny Allen wrench trying to.
But it's together. It's in there.
Nice.
It's all finished.
Nice. So yeah, that's What's up?
What I meant to get at with that is our plan was that we were going to eat In-N-Out before and then talk about our specific orders. I guess I can still, because Aaron and I are going to go get it tomorrow.
Okay.
Hopefully. And I mean, we know what we get anyway. So what was your guys' experience though? Because I haven't heard beyond our friend Steven who went up in Fresno. Is it different? What's going on there?
So Kathleen braved it by herself today.
I have a talent. I can. What's my talent? How would you explain it? I can wait out most things, like a beast.
It's her spiritual gift.
It's my spiritual gift, and
I thought you were going to say you have some special code word, or you like wear your uniform or something to like jump the line.
Right? No. So I went though, and I waited 25 to 30 minutes. And that was
that's not bad.
No, it wasn't. And that was like getting in line and coming home. So like the full like going and coming home.
That's even better.
I know. And everyone's wearing masks. So that was interesting. I mean, I guess such is life right now, so it wasn't too weird.
It was good. It was good because I got the end product. And I'm not usually so when we're going to eat during this whole quarantine thing, I'm not a person who likes to take fries with me anywhere.
Same.
Because they get sweaty. And then if you don't have them in the bag with all the steam, then they get cold. Like, there's only one thing you could do to fries that's worse than that, and my dad did it when I was a kid, is when they just introduced the new Burger King fries. They're a little thicker.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, my dad...
I love your dad's
I know.
My dad ripped open 3 ketchup packets, poured the fries in the bag, squeezed them in there, and then shook it up.
He did a shake and bake with the... Oh, man.
I remember, to this day, I could have been... I don't know how old I was. I could have been 7. And I looked at him. He says, what, you put ketchup on it anyway?
Gosh. That's so
It's like
gross.
someone pouring milk first and then the cereal. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite thing you've said in weeks, for sure.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Oh, man. So, on that note, 13 minutes into the show, I guess we could get to the actual meat of the episode. And
nice.
To be fair, or not to be fair, as a warning, I guess I should say, this is an hour-long California's Gold episode. This is a meaty one, pun intended.
Double meats there.
Yeah.
Cheesy pun intended.
So, ooh.
But I'll be here all night.
So the show starts interestingly, like right off the bat, at the In-N-Out headquarters, which I did not even know was a thing, in Baldwin, California. Is that what it was?
Baldwin
again?
Park.
Baldwin Park, yeah.
Baldwin Park. Okay, yeah. Now, this is quite a place right off the bat. Like,
yeah. Well, I'll say this so you've already explained that this is a very long episode.
Yes.
So how we're going to do it is we're going to deal with the compound first, and then we're going to jump into store number 1 next episode. It's going to be a 2-parter. So I'm going to have to structure my questions around the specifics of working at In-N-Out and about the food and the secret stuff and whatever. So I want to say this, though. In-N-Out, like this compound, it's a compound, right? Everything In-N-Out does, they do it very well. And it's well, I guess I should say it's well done. It's the same thing I just said twice.
They do a lot of things in-house that I didn't really expect them to do. And I'm sure a lot of burger corporations don't do as much in-house kind of a thing.
And I would say, did you feel like In-N-Out treated you well?
Oh my gosh, yeah. like as a part-time employee, you have all these incentives. Like which maybe not morbid is the right word.
Like
but
not to slip, right?
Right, yeah. So like any accidents, if you make it a certain amount of days, we would get like $20 gift cards to Target or...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and even as a part-time employee, I had benefits and vacation time. It was a great company to work for.
So I'll say from an outsider, and the reason I'm saying this is because, like I said, the compound, everything's really well done. And I kind of want to just say that I've had an In-N-Out hot dog.
Wow.
That's all.
No, okay, leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
Let's just leave that as a little juicy tidbit that we'll get to a little later.
Okay, sounds good.
Like, you told me that one. I think you just texted me that or texted me a picture or something. I don't remember. And you're just like, oh, I'm eating an In-N-Out hot dog. And I didn't even know what to ask or what was going on. It was just blowing my mind.
Okay, I'll keep it. I'll keep it tucked away.
So the compound, as far as this episode goes, Huell is like starts right off the bat, drives in the compound, meets with the president. What is this guy's name? Do you remember?
This is Big Bad Mark Taylor.
Big Bad. Okay. Also, Huell is wearing an In-N-Out Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, he is.
It's no secret from the get-go that Huell has pounded a few In-N-Out burgers in his day. I mean,
I bet you. Okay, once they discontinued a certain size of a burger, which I'll leave whatever for later. I'm sure everyone already knows, though. Huell, he just gave him a wink, and they said, "Give Huell the 5x5." So, well, because in Louis' book, he talked about how Huell liked a good steak, right? Or was it a burger? I forget exactly.
It was a steak, but he always called himself a meat and potatoes kind of a guy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, burger and fries is meat and potatoes if you want to get into semantics there.
No doubt.
Okay, so as far as the complex goes, it's weird. In my notes, I just started writing down all these questions that I had. Mostly for Kathleen, obviously, even though I've known you for years and years and I've asked you a million questions about this. More came up over as I was watching this. So first off, have you ever been to this complex before?
No, I actually haven't, and I feel sad that I haven't.
Now, is it like a thing that employees can go to kind of easily? Like, do you know?
I would say so because it's almost two-part. Like Mark and Huell are kind of showing. It's more for like managers who are training to be managers. So I was never in management. But there was another opportunity that they would offer just for like employees in general. And I didn't go for some reason, and I'm kicking myself now. But I could have gone to see like where the butchers do their thing.
Oh, whoa!
I know, and I didn't go for one reason or another.
Kathleen,
didn't you know you would be on this semi-successful podcast talking about it one day?
There's dozens of people listening. I always think of Mick Foley. Well, no, it's Mankind. Where's Mick Foley then? You would know. When he says the dozens and dozens of fans.
It was Mankind because it was during the Rock and Sock Connection.
That's right.
When he was tag team champions with The Rock. And because The Rock would say the millions and the millions of The Rock's fans, and then Mankind would say, and the dozens and dozens of Mankind fans. Yeah.
Oh, man. So my question for Kathleen with Mark here, because first of all, they're dueling with their button-up shirts, is one thing. Mark, before I get to my question, did you notice what he said, Chris?
Probably not.
He said California gold.
He did, didn't he? I'm not as keen on catching those those missteps as I used to.
So Big MT dropped a California gold. But so my question for Kathleen here: what is your interaction with Mark Taylor?
Oh, whoa! I never even thought to ask that.
Yeah, so it wasn't as like personal, but we would have monthly meetings once a month, every Saturday. and he would be like a lot of times on the introductions to the BTV. So we would see him often. Yeah.
So did he introduce what was going on? Did he give what information was he giving in the videos?
Updates, like maybe new training or new stores, or like even maybe milestones for employees.
Okay.
So it really was just like a mass communication to all the stores.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I came up with like 4 extra questions while you're talking about this. First off, I probably can already answer this for you. Did it kind of feel like the store you worked at, that it was like a group, like almost like a family group together, like you were all
100%? Yes.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh my gosh, it was really fun actually.
Yeah. On top of that, because I figured that, because the only thing I can equate it to is like my own work experience now, because I work at a school, and there's 50, 60 employees, and I don't know everyone yet. It's my first year, but it's the first time I've experienced this, and it's kind of weird because I'm not used to it. But so you felt like that at that store, but then when you moved here,
ooh, okay,
obviously you're new and you're not going to just instantly jump in this new crew and everything. But did it feel like that kind of thing existed there too?
I would say yes, but because I was so fresh and I wasn't at the store in Bakersfield that long, that I didn't feel like I was able to immerse myself into their familial structure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was at Store 54 for 7 years. It was very family oriented. So I would say that they had the same vibe. I just wasn't around long enough to catch the vibe. I don't know.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of segues into the next part of the whole compound segment, which is Huell interviewing these early, if not the first crew of the first store of In-N-Out. And Allan, you're better at catching names and details.
Names?
And stuff. Did you get these dudes' names? Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy in the red is Chuck the Smile Papez. We got Bob Coolhead Williams.
Wow.
And then we have Bob Snacks Lang.
Why is he Snacks?
Allan has this dream to get a small dog, and name it Snacks. So it finds its way into other parts of our lives.
This is news to me. I don't know about the Snacks dream you have.
No, but we got BB and C. They're the 3 original boys of In-N-Out.
So, yeah, they're also standing in front of the sort of store number 1. It's so weird that all of the fast food establishments that have a store number 1, they're not the first Del Taco.
I knew you were going there.
Yeah, it's it's sorta the number 1, but it's technically across the street, and it's not at all the same, and they remodeled it, and it's well, give me a break, guys. Just do one thing. McDonald's, obviously. I don't know about Burger King or Carl's Jr., but In-N-Out, same deal. They had to move it because of the freeway being built. Right. So they had to move store number 1, but even it's not really store number 1. Okay, either way. Chuck, Bob, and Bob. Robert, Bobby, Charles, whatever. They tell some. They're waxing poetic a little bit about their time.
But here's the thing, because they are the originals, right? And I guess what we don't hear from Huell is that, as far as I could tell when I was doing research on these guys, they are relatively well connected in the company, right? So
how so?
Well, so okay, I'm sure we'll get to this, but what's Schneider? Is it
Rich.
Rich. I think Rob Schneider.
I almost said Rob too.
So
I wish he was in this episode.
could you imagine? Oh man. So Rich Schneider, he died in a plane crash.
Explain who he is again.
Rich
I
Schneider
think I remember.
is the son of, what was it?
Esther
and Harry.
Mm-hmm.
So
And-
the owner number 2. He was the son of
Yeah.
Yes.
the originals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll get to see what he did at the store number 1, what he did with whatever.
Yes.
He's fairly well known and is a major influencer in In-N-Out culture. But Bob Williams, so I was just looking up to see, you know how I do, to see if there's an obituary.
Cool head Bob.
So actually, okay. Yeah, the Bobs are getting mixed. So Bob Williams is the guy with the glasses on, the transitions. I can't tell actually what he's wearing, but
yeah.
But as far as I can tell, like I said, he was on the plane and he got off a stop early before it crashed.
Oh,
That's wild.
Unless there was another.
that's some Buddy Holly day
Right?
day the music died. Merle Haggard.
Well, I would say this because there was a Bob Williams
Merle Haggard?
on the plane that got off the plane, and this same Bob Williams, apparently they break In-N-Out down into different regions.
Yes.
And there's a Chuck Papez region. There's a Rich Schneider region. There's a Bob Williams region. There's a Bob Senior region. And the reason there's a
so they like split them up,
and the reason that there is a
or like name them after them. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, and I think that they were they were regional managers, or even higher up than that probably. I don't really know. But
Weird.
what I was going to say is the reason why it's called Bob Senior is because, again, In-N-Out is a very secretive company, not in a bad way, but in a way where you don't know what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, as far as I can tell, and please, I'm sure there will be people, In-N-Out historians, amateur historians, are going to let us know, but Bob Lang Jr., I believe it is, he is the executive vice president of In-N-Out.
Oh wow. So these guys like made this their career. This wasn't like, oh, we're walking down memory lane, even though we own welding shops or something.
Right.
They were in the In-N-Out extended family.
Right. So, yeah. And speaking of that, I mean, we were watching them walk through the reenactment. It's like, this is a truly historical reenactment, but they walk through a drive-through. Like, what? And you see, like, the graffiti they cleaned up next to them. It's kind of funny.
I feel like I had a customer try and walk through the drive-thru and take an order.
What would you say if someone did that?
I think I took the order.
Wow.
What the heck? What was the other thing?
So
the picture of Harry that they showed.
Yes.
That just blurry picture looks like Bigfoot is walking through the.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Why would they show that?
I mean, it's the best you got.
Yeah, that's true. The show one later is just perfectly clear, though. He's just standing there.
So I misspoke earlier when I said the Buddy Holly, Merle Haggard thing. It's Waylon Jennings. I don't know if you know that story, but
I don't actually.
Waylon Jennings was in Buddy Holly's band at that time when he died, and Waylon Jennings gave up his seat for Buddy Holly to be able to take the plane, and he died, and it kind of like messed him up mentally for a long time. But
and then Waylon Jennings went on to be in Guar.
What? Is that real?
No, it's not real. Really messed him up.
Yeah. He just totally went, I can't do country anymore. I have to do ghoulish metal. So after we meet up with the Bobs and Rick? Chuck.
Yes.
Chuck, yeah. We meet up with another new face. Who is this guy here that we got? Jack Ruley.
Jack rules your world, Ruley, yeah.
And he's at another thing that, like, I know I watched this episode years ago, but it all seems so new to me. The In-N-Out University. And I mean, my first question kind of got answers my second one when I asked Kathleen if you ever went to the complex. You said no.
Yeah.
Obviously, you did not go to the university.
No, I am not a student. Was not a student of the university.
But obviously, you had a manager at your store. Did they go to the university?
Yeah, and I feel like they mentioned, there's the main manager, there's the second, the third, and the fourth. So there's quite a few people, if I remember right, that would go, because everyone's trying to make management if that's like their career. And then we actually got a lot of people who were transferring in and out. So I feel like I had a lot of experience with other people who were at the university.
Did they ever like talk about it, or was it weird?
Yeah,
was it
no,
cool?
I hear it's really intense. Actually, it was one of the reasons I just didn't want to make it my career. And if you do, that's great. But it was actually intimidating, even if it was a thought, because it was so like the Bible that they have. I almost feel like that has kind of trickled down into the training, and it's very detailed actually. And so it's not just now I'm a manager. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. So before we jump into the Bible thing, because I think we'll be able to get to that in this episode.
Ooh, I think
one of the things you said, the make it a career aspect. Obviously, it's been a while since you worked there, and maybe you never knew. But do you have any sort of clue as to maybe a ballpark how much a manager at In-N-Out would have made?
Oh yeah. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, like my manager. I think, I don't want to overstep if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard a number around 100,000 a year. Whoa, at least.
What?
Yeah, and I think it depends on your store too, like how busy they are. It could be, I think, more.
Well, I'm sure it has to do with the location too.
Yes.
Yeah, like an LA manager probably just, or somewhere near Bay Area.
Yeah.
Cost of living is going to go up, stuff like that. But I mean,
they get paid
that's
well.
a chunk of change. Wow.
That's pretty good money.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe I should go to the university. I don't know if I have the demeanor.
That's pretty stressful.
Yeah. I can deal with 140 kids every day, but I don't know about 5,000 strangers.
It's funny.
All day.
It's funny because I just go work in a hole. Just come out at 5:00.
So once we didn't go in the university yet. We first jump over to the In-N-Out company store. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, and Kathleen said something that stuck out to her, and that was the name tag.
Oh yeah. So the shape of the name tag is copied from employees at Disneyland, actually, because I think it was Rich.
Really?
Yeah, he really liked their customer service at Disneyland and their demeanor. And so he kind of took it upon himself to capture that part of the Southern California Disneyland aspect and also the customer service aspect and kind of put it into the name tag shape.
Well, Baldwin Park's not that far from Anaheim,
Nope.
so it makes sense that there would be that. He's right around the corner, get that influence and everything. I never would put that together, but yeah, just that that kind of plastic front with the
little boop,
the embossed
a boop at the top.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, before we walk in, when Jack's talking to Huell and tries to give him a compliment, I noticed that you're wearing the Hawaiian shirt here. And I forget exactly what he says, but basically it looks good on him. And Huell gives him okay, let's go inside the store.
Yeah, he just kind of blows that compliment off. I mean, Huell, come on. You're looking good in that shirt.
For sure.
So, since we're talking about, like, a piece of the uniform, the In-N-Out uniform, I know we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but you said the name tag, and I thought of the name tag and the fact that you pin it on. Mm-hmm. There's something that I got to bring up. I forgot about till right now, is that my good friend Matt, when he found out, or when he first met you and found out that you worked at In-N-Out, he begged you for a piece of your uniform, a very unique piece of your uniform.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. The giant safety pin.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That's awesome.
So what's the deal with the big safety pin? Like, what is it for? Do you get to keep them? Do you have any?
Yeah, I have. I think I gave Matt my extra one, but I still...
Did you end up giving it to him?
I thought I did. Maybe I didn't.
He did.
I thought
I'm going to text him.
Yeah, ask him. And if not, I'll find it for him. It's basically to keep your apron in place. So it needs to be like a big old safety pin to go through your apron. And everybody, or a large amount of people, would use it for like their keys actually after they were done.
Oh.
Yeah, like I did for a while.
So it's like a... Oh, whoops. I shouldn't try and podcast and text at the same time. But it's almost like a insider thing.
Kinda,
Like, ooh,
yeah.
You can see someone who had their keys with that on, like, ooh, it's a fellow employee.
Yeah.
I wonder what store number they're on.
Yeah.
So where do we go after the store?
We go to, well, it depends what we're doing here. Let's see. We go into, well, Huell crashes the class. That's the first thing. After he shows us
That's right.
the receptionist desk that's like a drive-through, which is cool. Huell just says, hey, can we go in to the class? And then Jack, being the dean of students, which he doesn't like that name, just like Huell didn't like the compliment. He kind of just changes the subject. Because Huell calls him, originally says, so you're like the dean of students. Well, yeah. Well, anyway, they get to, Huell gets to crash a class. And a thought experiment for you, how excited would you have been if you were in Randall S. Beeman's California history class and Huell just popped his head in?
I think Huell popping in would culminate in my head popping open and exploding our brains out. Because, as you know, being in that California history class, it was one of both of our favorite college classes as far as history goes. Mm-hmm. I mean, you really get in that kind of like California history mindset, especially with Beeman's like kind of surfer yet Kansas accent that he had.
His thing is when he would sweat, right? Because he was bald. He would sweat, and then he would grab his right hand and reach around the back of his head, and then wipe the left part of his forehead and his temple all the way around. And
it was impressive.
It was, wow, that's okay, cool. And then we took that class with Sammy. You know Sammy. He's just a friend. Mm-hmm. Well, no one knows Sammy on the show, but you know Sammy.
You and I.
And he successfully slept through most of that class because it was 8 a.m. And he posted, dude, okay. He would have the desk posted up on the back wall and his head just on the wall sleeping. And I remember Beeman looking at him, and just as he would look at him, and the longer he would sleep, the more upset he would get. But he never said anything though. So,
well,
I like the class though. There you go.
Totally, and I don't know why Huell would have popped in, but it would have been insane if he had, especially because when did I take that class? No, Huell was still alive when I took it. I think I took it in like 2007. I don't even remember. Too many years ago.
Yeah.
But point being, this class right here, even though they seem pretty unimpressed by having California legend pop in their class. I mean, to be fair, these are all like future managers of stores, and they're there with the teacher who also happens to be the owner of the company. So they're probably trying to like, okay, I'm just going to maintain my cool. I mean, Huell's here, but whatever.
So, did you ever meet Lindsay?
Yeah, I met her. She came to my store.
Wow.
Whoa.
So, okay, I got to ask you, does she look as young in person? Because
Oh,
she
yeah.
looks like she's like 15
Yes.
in this video.
She looks very young in person, and she's just as like sweet and like meek in the midst of like all this chaos that is In-N-Out. And she's super nice.
What was the story?
Did you know who she was when she walked
So
in
I
the
knew
door?
who she was, but my coworker
Oh, yeah.
did not.
She's good.
But I don't know if it was because she just didn't know or because she was so busy. So Lindsay walked in, and I was what we call on board. So basically I was next to the cook, which was my friend. And she was so into what she was doing, like pulling the burgers, that Lindsay started kind of talking to her from her side view. And my friend then proceeded to ask her like what store she was from, and then I like nudged her like, she basically owns us, that's what store she's from. And then she's like, oh my gosh, and realized who she was pretty shortly after.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's great. Like I can't imagine who Ray Kroc going into every McDonald's. I mean, obviously there's like 5 million of them, but still, like, it's a different experience, even for like any sort of chain restaurant of any kind, for the owner or president or any like really higher up to just be dropping in stores. I mean, Lake Elsinore isn't super close
Yeah.
to LA or the LA area,
Mhm.
sorta, but you know,
It's a drive.
she had to go out of her way to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So after we leave Lindsay, we're still with what's this guy's name? I can't
This is
remember.
Big Jack, JR.
JR. Okay, good old JR is showing us the board.
Well, as Huell referred multiple times in the show, we are in the inner sanctum.
Oh man, I mean, I definitely know his giddiness because, I mean, it's just to put things in perspective. The school I currently work at is also the junior high that Allan attended as a 12 and 13-year-old. So
Yeah.
it's Bakersfield. It's a smallish city, so it's not out of the ordinary too much. But you know, sometimes I'm in the office like getting stuff out of my box or, just walking around. I'm just like, man, Allan probably got a referral and came through these halls all scared.
Honestly, no, I did go to school. I did. I was going to say that was high school I missed a lot of, but not junior high. I was going to say that I did more skateboarding at Stern than I did actually learning, but, well, no, that's true.
I
did
mean,
more
your skateboarding was featured on the morning show. So.
It was. It was. Yeah. It's a fun school to skate, by the way, for anyone.
Yeah. There's still almost every day after school when I would leave.
Oh, really?
There'd be, oh, yeah. Like probably like early age high school kids,
Aw.
probably from Highland or Foothill.
It's fun because, especially when at night, because it's lit up. Well, whatever. We used to. And then, or when it's raining, it's all covered too. So it's a fun spot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
At least I've heard.
There's cameras and motion sensors there now, though, so like don't break into the school to skate. But like out in the parking lot is still like there's some good spots.
Yeah,
there,
there's Seven Stair.
Don't get yourself in trouble, especially right now. Like it's super high security because like schools closed down.
For
so
sure.
some sixth graders tried to booby trap one of their teachers' classrooms as a joke.
Oh,
Bro, it's still breaking and entering, so
Yeah.
I got in big trouble.
dang.
So okay, we're talking while the video's playing, and we're missing some good stuff. First off, the board with all the stores and all the managers and everyone, that's crazy. Like he's like got that at his fingers at any time to like just see who's the third manager of the Panama Bakersfield location. I'm going to call that guy up right now. But what I think is even obviously more kind of like interesting.
I know what you're going to say.
This placemat collection this fool has.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to go with the cups, but that's later.
Yeah, that we're getting there. I didn't know that they're like, usually I'm so focused on the food that's sitting atop the placemat that I don't think I ever realized that they were different. Like, I never would have thought to look. Was that a thing, Kathleen, that you remember? Getting the new shipment in?
I remember getting them, but I hated handing those things out, so I don't think I really cared to look at the tops of them. But I do know that they changed because people hated getting them so much that I hated giving them. But I do.
Oh, so wait, they're not like just put in the bottom of the trays.
No, so those are two different things, actually.
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right,
so those are the tray liners that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
But like if you're in the drive-thru and you say you're eating in your car, they'll give you a placemat.
Oh, yeah, because I never do that
Yeah.
because that's crazy to me that people do that, which I know to each their own,
Yeah.
but like, come on. In-N-Out is not the daintiest of food to eat.
No.
It's a sloppy endeavor. So, like, eating in your car and getting spread all over your
Yeah.
steering wheel just sounds horrible to me, but now that makes sense.
Yeah.
That you would give that out.
But I do think both change, though. Just depending on what's going on.
Yeah. And then the glasses, too. Yes, obviously.
Dude,
This collection of, like, collectible glasses that were given out.
It's so not like In-N-Out at all.
No, it's weird.
It's
huh?
really weird to me.
Speaking of, though, I want to bring this up. There was one of those 80s commercials that I was watching on YouTube where In-N-Out was having a contest, already weird, where you would win a trip to Hawaii if they saw you with their In-N-Out bumper sticker on your car.
What?
Really? It's like KUZZ stuff.
Yeah. I know, right? And they gave out like 2 a week
Okay.
for a couple months during the spring. So, like, and they said, you don't even have to buy anything. You could just come in and get the bumper sticker. Which I know, like, with contests, you have to do that where it's no purchase necessary.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gambling.
Oh.
But I learned that from the McMillions Monopoly, McDonald's Monopoly documentary on
looks
HBO.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, the giving out of commemorative cups was not a thing when you were there, I assume.
No,
right?
I didn't even
way
know
before.
anything about the cup, so it was kind of cool.
And we should explain a few, because this was, what's the era of these cups? I'm trying to, because the only one that I remember Huell saying out loud is, Elmer Fudd?
I mean, there's like the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
There's some
got
like
Bo-
DC Comics.
Rocky and Bullwinkle,
Wow.
Wile E.
Yeah.
Coyote, Elmer Fudd.
Speedy Gonzalez. There's there were like then he mentioned the Indiana Jones ones
Yeah.
that when those movies were coming out, and that was
Late
80s.
Yeah, late 80s, right?
Yeah. The first one was 80. No, it was like 81, something like that, because it was like in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Ask
Okay.
Allan, he'll know the sequence of the Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
You love them all so much.
Yeah, I like Clone Wars. It's my favorite.
It's not even a movie. Well, it technically is a movie, but
I didn't finish it, though.
the movie or the show?
The show. I've never seen a Star Wars. So,
Yeah, I mean that's the joke we're making. Is Alan's never seen a Star Wars movie?
yeah. I feel like my dad should have took me as a kid. He didn't, because he was feeding me ketchup-covered French fries.
Shake and bake ketchup
Just
fries.
soggy ketchup fries. I was going to say, yeah, the only thing I can think of when it comes to these, it's not even commemorative. It's the first thing that I thought of when he showed the cup. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember driving through McDonald's, and my mom bought me Wayne's World 2. Well, they used to sell VHSs.
The VHS?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of do remember that.
Yep.
So weird.
That's funny that she would buy you that in the drive-thru.
Yeah. Because they used to sell a cup full of fries, too.
I remember that.
Oh, well, I don't remember McDonald's doing that. I know that Del Taco did it.
Oh. Well, so, okay.
So, okay. Yeah. That was one of the hacks that you could do was you would get the like macho fry, I think is what they called it at Del Taco, and it came in one of their like large drink cups.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if you just dump the fries out, you get a free large drink.
Oh my gosh!
And we would,
I never thought of that.
Oh, well, there you go. And we would call it the grease cup because it had the the fry grease all in it, and it would add a little salty twist to your
What, your Mountain Dew?
Oh my
Cherry
gosh.
Coke?
But you know what happened? At least at the California Avenue Bakersfield location,
Rest in peace.
rest in peace, totally level to the ground. Have you driven past that?
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird.
It is so
If in a
sad.
hotel there, it's gonna be weird, but yeah.
I know. They kind of caught on to what we were doing, so they started popping the bottoms.
Yep.
Oh.
And then we thought, like, oh, well, we'll just, like, I don't know what we thought, how we thought this would work. We thought, like, shove the grease cup into another cup, and then it'll work. But then it's like, well, where are you getting the other cup from? Obviously, you already bought one. Like, just, it's $2. Get a drink. I don't know what we were being so thrifty about, but that was the grease cup.
That's funny because the only time we ever did something, like I said, I never did this. Wink.
Sure.
Was you could get popcorn refills at the movies. Just pull out a trash can. Yeah, that's an easy one though.
Yeah.
And you can fill it up with soda. Just kidding.
I thought you were going to say your dad would fill it up with popcorn and then dump soda in it.
Wouldn't be surprising.
No, my Del Taco story is there was a guy, and he was there, and I remember him. He was holding fries, and he was holding a burrito, and he said, "French fries, a burrito, yeah, we're in America."
What?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Del Taco's been around a long time. It's not that outlandish of a thing.
I know. I used to eat a burger from Del Taco. That was my thing, but you know,
Oh, I would too.
yeah,
Yeah, they were good.
yeah.
Back to the show at hand. We are at the
Well,
we are at the
I would say before we get to what you're going to get to the book, there is a bit at the end which is funny. The book. It's when Huell and Jack are talking, and they almost are going to finish each other's sentence, but they use the wrong word. Not the wrong word, but they use two wildly different words to describe the same thing. He's like, "Oh wow, you got some memorabilia," but then Jack says paraphernalia. And so
Oh.
oh, okay.
oh whoops.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's how that bit ends.
Yeah. But yeah, the point in the inner sanctum that we're in right now is the vault room, and in the vault doesn't look like there's anything but this single item, which it's weird that they kept it in a vault when it sounds like it was pretty well-known secret, and they're showing it on TV right now.
Right.
And I just got news flash. I just got a reply from Matt that he did in fact. God, what a doofus! Yes, she did, but I lost it in one of my moves.
Wow.
Sad.
Matt.
Shame him. So the best part about this book is when they pull it out of a safe.
Yes.
What is Huell
This
do?
is the Bible that Kathleen was referencing, by the way.
No,
This is like it might as well be on a scroll, right? And Huell,
What does he do?
His paws, dude. He just grabs it.
he stresses me out when he grabs it.
He just grabs the.
He's not gentle with it. He's not.
Huell.
He's not being like
No.
careful at all. He's just
Well,
grabbing.
at 23:55 too, Jack kind of puts his hands on it again, and they're both holding on to it. At one point,
So, if you like zoom in, the what is said in the Bible pages that they show on screen is not super clear, but sometimes it gets a little clear. One of the things I noticed was that tomatoes should not be dropped.
It's a solid point.
Okay. Now, I was going to ask you, Kathleen, is that something that had to be actually said out loud to you when you were training? Like, hey, by the way, don't drop the tomatoes.
No. I mean, there was very detailed instructions. Don't drop things. It was it was a given.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thunk?
So, at this point, we are getting to kind of the handoff point.
We are.
Right?
I think we're going to skip over this because Kathleen is going to serve us up a lot of In-N-Out secrets in the next episode. But we're going to jump over this because we're going to dedicate a whole episode just to being inside the store. A lot of people know the secret menu, but Kathleen's experience working there and a lot of the bits of being an employee that I think people might be interested in. But that, you and I, we all felt actually that wasn't important enough to merit its own.
Plus,
episode.
I mean, we're already at 55 minutes of this show, and we've only talked about like 20 minutes of actual like California's Gold show.
Yeah,
this is a big one.
It's a big boy.
So yeah, we're jumping ahead to about the 45-minute mark in the show where we're back with who's the president? What's the president's name again?
President's Mark
Taylor.
Mark Taylor.
Okay. He looks like Matt Pinfield, by the way. I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
reference
the VJ from MTV.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good reference.
Maybe it is him.
Oh, what if he had a double life? What a weird life that guy would have had.
Secretly, he came up with BTV instead of MTV. Whoa!
Wow.
It's like some fan fiction stuff over here.
He comes, he's like, guys, I got a great idea. I know you do burgers really well, but I got this whole idea where we make a TV show all about burgers on BTV. Like, Mark, that kind of sounds like MTV. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Nah.
So the last part of this whole complex section at the end of the episode really kind of shows how much of the in-house aspect of In-N-Out exists. Because, like, I didn't know they had their own fleet of trucks. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not hiring an outside trucking agency to haul their stuff. Like,
yeah.
Well,
that's
as I
nuts.
was researching, I guess they closed down their 40-something Texas stores because their buns weren't up to standard. They just closed.
I remember reading something about that it wasn't up to their standards.
So they real serious.
Yeah, they are. Actually,
Because, like,
oh, go ahead.
there's a little bit in the store which kind of ties into what Allan's saying, so I don't think I'm giving too much away, that in the store they talk about how there's no preservatives in the bun and they only have like a 3-day shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and Texas is a huge. I just drove through it last summer, and it felt like 3 lifetimes driving through it. So, makes sense.
It's like driving California north to south, or way more.
It is, but with less diversity in the landscape.
Okay.
To give you perspective, okay. At one point in Texas, we stopped at a rest stop, and there was like a roadside plaque that I saw, and it's so crazy. It's so flat there that it said everything to the west of this point, all the water flows to the Colorado River.
Huh.
Everything from this point to the east, all the water flows to the Mississippi River. I think that's what the 2 rivers were. Definitely the Colorado. But either way, if you look, the kind of like ridge line that it's talked about is maybe like 8 feet elevation difference. And it's like, that's such a big elevation difference in Texas that water just cannot get over it.
Dang.
I was like, wow, this is a flat pancake state.
Pancake state.
So you were mentioning how many things happen in-house.
Yeah.
And a few of those things, well, besides the maintenance facility for the trucks, cleaning the trucks, whatever, is they have their own sign shop. And this was something, was this surprising to you?
I didn't know that, actually.
Did you ever see a person installing the signs, or is that all done?
No.
Menus
it would be in the morning, like early before they opened. So I wasn't, unless I was cleaning the dining room. I'd never seen someone
Okay.
do that. Mm-hmm.
So they were talking.
So the 2 guys that we got here, Joe Kuntz and what was the other guy's name?
His name was John Peterson.
Okay. These are the sign guys. And one of the things they mention is because they do like the menu signs, and he says whenever there's a change, we got to do it for like however many stores. That
we said 900. 900
Yeah.
is how many menus.
So that leads me to believe that as set in stone as these menus are, that there are changes from time to time. Which
should you tell the story?
It's a sad story.
Oh no! I wasn't even.
Yeah, no one died or anything. It was like sad, sad, and
Allan already went there.
So this old man would come in every day with the exact change, and when California's tax went up at one point, he still had the same change. And he was like, all right, here you go. And we're like, sir, it's like a bit more. I think we might have spotted him because we all felt so bad. But
yeah.
So that was like
I remember you telling me this story before.
I know.
It's old man. He walks in at 10:30 for his lunch.
He's so cute.
Like that. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Well, that's pretty sad. But so the thing.
On that note.
The thing that I was wondering is when he said when they want to change something, they have to change 900 signs. I looked up how many In-N-Out stores there are, and my math is 347. Not math. Literally the fact that I saw online is that there's 347. And I was asking Kathleen, I said, how many menus are at a store? Is there like a backup menu and 2 menus?
I mean,
because that's the only way I could see getting to 900.
Wait. How many panels are there in the menu board up top?
Oh, so there's like 3, I think.
There you go.
2 or 3, yeah.
Sorta.
Well, because I was wondering too in the drive-thru, but that's not screen fronted. That's right.
Or is
it? Might be
just backlit.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I never looked that close.
I know.
We got to go brave that line again, dude.
Oh, I know.
Well, I'm going to go there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should I ask the employees?
Yes.
Okay.
Before you even finish the question.
I know.
Yes.
I don't have the guts to do those kind of things, but our friend Matt, who stupidly lost the safety pin, he does have those kind of guts. He would always ask employees of stores questions that he wasn't trying to be mean by any means. He was just like, he would have some weird thought and just ask like, hey, do you know like how much money the president of McDonald's makes? The kid's like, I'm 19. I don't know. He never actually asked that. I couldn't think of a better example. But either way, we are on to what I think is one of the weirdest things that In-N-Out does. One of the weirdest things in this episode. And that is what we already talked about, the BTV, Burger Television. What in the heck is this all about? And you already said that you watched them.
Yeah.
This is just a thing? You didn't think like, oh, this is insane and crazy in a good way?
I think at the first one I saw probably, but then it was just like, all right, it's another meeting. We have another video.
So, oh man, let me go to my questions because I had a couple BTV questions. Well, first off, how can I see Burger Television as a patron of the store?
I don't know if
any
you
way
can.
I can see it.
I don't know if you could unless like a manager somehow uploaded it to a YouTube or something. But it's pretty.
I tried.
Did you? Yeah, I don't think you could.
Well, okay. You said that. Well, they say on the episode here that they just send out DVDs to all the stores every month for that. Did you ever get your hands on a copy or?
No, because it's only one. It's not like an employee DVD. It's like the manager of the store gets it, and then we watch it on the TV that he would bring out onto like the counter, and we would just watch it with the.
It wouldn't be like the school cart with the TV and the DVD player.
You know what? I thought it was at one point, but I think my memory it's mistaken. I think you just put it on where you get your food.
Man, we need to get so the person who's in charge of editing these, and as he'll ask him, he says, so you just burn all these DVDs and send them to the stores? We need to get a hold of Justin Blumenthal. Although that might be a little hard because he's the creative production and development. Wait, production. He's the director of creative production and development at LinkedIn. So
he's not.
He went straight to the top, basically.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Well, actually, I'm looking at this job description currently right now. Is it? Oh, this is from 2 years ago.
Are you trying to go undercover so you can watch one?
No, I was going to try and be Justin and do Burger Television, but it looks like the position went up on April 24th.
What do you even
2018.
Need?
Oh, well, let me tell you. Wait. Minimum 1 year experience in television or film, audiovisual experience. Doesn't say anything about like any sort of degree or anything, so it just seems like can you run a camera? Like, can you burn DVDs?
All of our generation says yes.
Microsoft Office software. Man,
get in there.
I would have done this.
Seriously, huh?
Yeah, well, I looked at Justin. He did his undergrad at UC Santa Cruz in film.
Oh, that's cool.
He was a banana slug, huh?
Yeah.
So that's that. Okay, I don't want to do this on the show. Like, I'm really tempted to just start like getting real deep. I know I have some friends. Zach, I'm looking at you. I'm going to text you after the show. I know he listens. I know he can find one, at least one. Because if they did it, what'd you say? Every month?
Every month, yep.
Wow. Okay. I think he could probably find it because.
Ooh.
Oh wow, there were In-N-Out shoes. Wow,
we can't do this right now.
Yeah.
No, I know. Sorry, I got onto eBay. Whoops. Well, that's where Homeboy was getting all of his. It's weird that the dean of students at In-N-Out University had to go to eBay to get his placemats and glasses and stuff. Like, there really isn't like a company archive with how in-house they are about
that
stuff.
is actually very surprising to me. But no.
I get
like a trophy.
Oh, room. Look, there's the In-N-Out bumper sticker for the what's it called? The Hawaii vacation sweepstakes.
That's pretty cool.
It's only $5.99 for two of them. You guys want to? We already have the same car. You want to have the same bumper sticker too?
Yeah.
Anyway, is that kind of it? Because after
that's all the facility stuff. So we pretty much covered everything in the first episode.
The first part.
The first part
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our first episode on this episode. Yeah. Wow. This is exciting. I can't believe we're doing a part 2.
I know. It's going to be fun, too, because there are things that Kathleen's going to share which are really cool, I think.
Got some fun stories, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, that's because it's interesting. Anyone who's listening to this, I'm sure you've been in an In-N-Out. And it's one of those stores where you can just, see in. So when you tell your stories of stuff, people are going to be able to visualize it really well because even if you were doing something in the back, you can still kind of see, and everyone likes looking out there and watching people running around like chickens with their heads cut off back there. So I guess with this, because we're still technically facility people, I don't know. We'll talk about, do you want to talk about the end of the episode?
Yeah.
Next week?
Yeah, we'll talk about the end next week. Yeah, that makes sense.
We'll leave it there. Because that is kind of store one stuff.
Yeah.
So, the last thing, since it is kind of related to this, the song that I put at the beginning, which I already talked about, was that ever on the Burger Television? Do you remember that?
You know what? I vaguely remember people singing it.
Whoa.
Like a montage almost. Oh. Like your man Justin. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe got people to sing it at a new store opening because that would be on the BTV, but
oh, true.
Yeah,
okay.
But never. I don't know. It wouldn't have been weird if it was on there. Such a politician answer.
Well, it's an election year.
There we
so
go.
You can afford
Par
to
for
do
the
that.
course.
You get in the mood.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for part 1. The Huell's Gold In-N-Out A New Hope. Allan won't get that joke. So
Yeah, we're just going to start this up next week with store 1. Well, the second store 1.
store number store 1 and stories from store number 50. What? 54?
54. We would say that too. You're welcome.
Ay.
It'll be a good one.
All right. Well, I guess come along with us next week and every week as we continue our search for
Huell's Gold.
In-N-Out, In-N-Out, that's what hamburgers all about.